In this video, you will learn about writing an equation in point-slope form. First, let's review finding slope. If we wanted to find the slope of a line containing each pair of points, we would first have to identify which points we're calling x1, y1, and x2, y2. So for the sake of the first example, I'm going to say x1, y1, x2, y2. And I'm going to plug it into my slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I plug this into my formula, it would be y2, which is negative 2, minus y1, so it's minus 2, over x2, which is 4, minus negative 2. This will give me negative 4 over 4 plus 2. I can combine the 4 and the 2, so I get negative 4 over 6. And my final answer, if I simplify, would be negative 2/3. For the next example, I'm going to do the same thing. So I've decided that I want to call negative 3 x1, y1, x2, y2. And we're going to plug it into our formula. So if I did that, it would be y2, which is negative 4, minus y1, which is negative 4, over x2, which is 5, minus x1, negative 3. This will become negative 4 plus 4 over 5 plus 3. I can simplify this to 0 over 8. And 0 divided by 8 gives me 0. So my slope of this line is 0. The last question we have here is what kind of line has 0 slope? If we think back to Slope Man's face, our undefined was the nose with the vertical line, and the 0 slope was that horizontal line. So a horizontal line has 0 slope. The point-slope form is another way of writing an equation. In this equation, you're going to fill it in with the coordinates of a point and the slope. In the first blank, you fill in the y-coordinate of the point. In the next blank, you fill in the slope. And finally, you fill in the x-coordinate of the point. And filling in the blanks is the easiest way to rewrite it, and it's the easiest way to write an equation. For our first example, it says to write the equation of a line through the point negative 2, 1 with a slope of 4/3. Now the easiest way to do this is to rewrite our point-slope form with the blanks. So it's y minus the blank equals the blank times x minus the blank. Now we're going to fill this in. So our slope goes in the blank next to the parentheses. So it's 4/3. And then of our coordinate, the y goes with the y. So I'm going to fill in from this part right here. I'm going to say it's y minus 1 and x minus negative 2. Now I can simplify this one step further to become y minus 1 equals 4/3, and subtracting a negative is the same thing as saying x plus 2. For the next one, it says to write the equation of a line through 6, negative 5 with a slope of 7. So I'm going to fill it in to the formula. So if I fill it in, my slope is 7, so that goes next to the parentheses. And my coordinate is 6, negative 5. So I can fill in the negative 5 with the y and the 6 with the x. And if I simplify this, y minus negative 5 is really y plus 5 equals 7 times x minus 6. Pause the video and try the next one on your own. In our next example, we're again writing the equation of a line given a point and the slope. So our slope is negative 5 over 4. So I'm going to plug that in next to parentheses. And our point is 2, negative 5. So I'm going to put the negative 5, which is the y coordinate, with the y, and the x coordinate with the x. And this would simplify to be y plus 5, negative 5/4 x minus 2. Now, in order to graph an equation in point-slope form, you're first going to use the distributive property. So I would distribute the negative 2 to both of my terms. So it'll become y minus 3 equals negative 2x plus 8. Then you're going to finish solving to get y by itself. So you would add 3 to both sides to get y equals negative 2x plus 11. Now I can graph this equation using slope-intercept form, which is my y equals mx plus b. So looking at the equation, my slope is negative 2. So the slope is negative 2, which can be written as negative 2 over 1. And the y-intercept, or b, is 11. So to graph, I'm going to plot my point at 11, and I'm going to move using the slope. So I'll go down 2 and over 1, and finish drawing in the line. Pause the video and try the next one on your own. In the next one, we're going to do the same thing. So I'm first going to use the distributive property to solve the right side of the equation. So it'll become y plus 1 equals negative 1/2 x plus 1.5. Then we're going to solve to get y by itself. So I would subtract 1 from both sides. So my equation will be y equals negative 1/2 x plus 0.5. So my y-intercept, or my slope I mean, is negative 1/2. And my y-intercept is 0.5. So I'm going to plot my y-intercept and use the slope to move along the graph. And finally, draw in the line.